Hi, I'm packing for my trip to Patagonia. I leave the day after tomorrow, and I thought I'd show you guys what I'm bringing. This is it. I don't even know where to start, but obviously, okay, very important, passport, wallet. That's like key. I'm thinking about bringing this little bag for like on the plane and every day. However, I might reconsider that because I am bringing an actual day like backpack, because I think I'll use this for day hikes obviously, but also for the O trek, which I'm doing and I'm very excited about. So this might be a bit redundant because I'm going to be, but it could be nice to have something during the day that's not a backpack. So not sure about that. I'm bringing one big microfiber like travel towel, a small one for my face, and then bathing suit. Then I'm bringing some trousers. I've got some like yoga leggings. I think I'll wear these on the plane actually, since they're super comfy. And then I'm bringing these hiking / climbing trousers. They're water resistant, but they're also quite light, so yeah. And then I've got these trousers. These are actually like some kind of cargo trousers that are wind and waterproof. So I think I'll actually get the most wear out of these because they also look kind of good as a casual like cargo trouser in the city. So yeah, very excited about these. They're from a brand called Blast, which is designed in Norway in a city called Bergen, which is a city that gets the most rain like in Europe, I think, per year. So I'll know that these will be weatherproof. Yes. If I find some shorts, but in Buenos Aires that I like and that I can hike in, I might consider buying those. But yeah, these trousers are quite light and I think it'll be fine. I've got one crop top. This is kind of like a technical fabric, so I think I can wear it for many different occasions. Then I've got another crop top. This is cotton, so it's a bit more for like casual wear. I've got like a tank top for those really warm days. When I arrive in Buenos Aires, actually my first day there, it'll be 29 degrees. So I was like, okay, I need something that's actually warm. Then I've got this long sleeve. It's by Gramici. And this is like what I'll wear a lot, I think, actually. Not only to cover up from the sun, but also when it's a bit chilly. This is basically what I'm bringing in place of like a fleece. Because I don't know, I feel like a fleece would actually be quite warm. And a fleece is a fleece, like it looks very sporty, and this is more casual, I'd say. I've also got 2 merino wool t-shirts that are hanging up to dry right now. I just needed to wash them. For when it gets really cold, I've got a down jacket with me. And then I've got my rain jacket as well. I've got some sports bras. I've got 3 sports bras, and then I'm bringing another 4 regular bras. Actually, I've got 4 sports bras because I've got another merino wool one that hanging out to dry right now. And then I'll bring actually 3 regular bras. So I've got a week worth of bras. Then underwear, obviously, I'll bring 10 pairs, so to keep me going. Then I've got my base layer. So this is also a long sleeve, but it's wool. Yeah. And then I've got the long johns, or like the wool leggings as well. I've got a silk pillowcase. I bring this traveling with me all the time. My face is very reactive, or my skin is very sensitive, and my face is quite reactive to different like detergents and everything. So I bring this, but also I will actually bring this camping with me as well, because I don't really have like a camping pillow. So I figured I could just stuff some things into this, even the down jacket, and make it into like a pillow. So I've got that. Then I've got socks. These are just a few of them. I've got some more merino wool, or like hiking socks that are hanging up to dry as well. I've got like a neck buff thing for when it gets cold. And I've got a kind of pashmina, is that what you call this? A big scarf that is actually very multi-purpose. I can use it as like a beach cover-up. I'm not going to the beach. I can use it as a cover-up in general, but I use it as a blanket as well. And I can use it as like a kind of some sort of wrap. Like this is more blanket style, but I can also use it as like a kind of fancy top. I can actually also, wrap it around and use it as a top if I'm going out or something. And a blanket, like I said. And obviously I can use it as a regular scarf. So this is actually a very good travel item, I'd say. I have as well Tupperware, because for the trek I'll definitely be bringing food. I think in general it's probably good to have this like just a container with me. It's a little big, but this is what I have. I've got a spork for eating, and then I've got my Quinto cup for warm drinks. This is quite lightweight as well, so and it's insulated, so it keeps my drinks cold or warm. Also for the hikes and generally. I've also got my regular like 1 liter water bottle as well, because this is a lot less volume wise, but this is 1 liter. And then I've got a little waterproof like dry bag. I think this is good to put my stuff in anyway, but also like if it's raining, but also if I'm swimming or whatever. I've got a reusable tote bag that like is pretty small. And then I've got a headlamp for tent nights and whenever. This is a silk sleeping bag liner. I've booked tents for the O-Trek. So I've booked the tent, the mat, and the sleeping bags. So I won't have to carry those with me on the trek while hiking. But since the sleeping bags are probably pretty disgusting. Oof, I hope not. But like, it's not my sleeping bag, so I'll want a layer between me and the actual sleeping bag. So this is a silk liner. Silk is good for regulating temperature, but also, once again, my skin is pretty sensitive, so I think it's good that it's silk. This is a sleeping mask, also silk. I've got a sitting pad. Honestly, like, I feel like this is a very Norwegian thing to have. Maybe, but I bring it with me on every hike. It's super light, and it's surprisingly like nice to have a layer between you and the earth when you're sitting down. I've got obviously my film camera, my one true love. I've got, let's keep with the clothes. Okay, so I've got a lot of like headwear. I've got a cap, obviously good for like protection against the sun, but also greasy hair days when I should really be washing my hair. I've got a beanie for when it gets cold. Not sure if I should bring this. Like, will it really be that cold? But I feel really comfortable in a beanie. So there we go. We've got a bucket hat. I love how I'm like showing you guys all these. This one has come with me to Japan, to Slovenia, to Croatia. It's good for the sun, but also for rainy days actually, because it's kind of water repellent, and it also covers my head when I have greasy hair. And then lastly, I've got this bandana, which I would call like a headdress, but because I use it a lot to put on over my head, also for greasy hair days or when I want to cover up from the sun or if it's very windy. But I can also obviously, this is multi-purpose, so I can use it for as a scarf or something. Yeah. Then I've got hair clip as well. Hair management is like a category, I feel like. I've got a power bank, fully charged. Very important. I've got a reusable tissue. I've got 2 pairs of sunglasses, which I don't know if that's excessive. I've got my Oakleys, which are like my outdoorsy. These are the ones I should definitely bring. These. And then I've got like my stylish ones, but they're also pretty sporty looking actually. So I actually might have to reconsider those. But those are the Chimi ones. These. They are a bit more like sun, like reflective. So maybe that will protect me from the sun. I don't know. Got those. I've got my notebook / journal. I need this. This will be important actually. And then I've got actually, I bought 2 books, which I don't know if I can justify bringing 2 books. I'm going for a month, and I'll be in a lot, like it'll be a long plane ride, it'll be a lot of buses, and like during camping and things. So I'm very tempted to bring both. I've got like one book that I've been wanting to read on the calculation of volume 2. So this is a follow-up of a book that I've already read and I really enjoyed. But this book as well is a book in which the main character travels, and I think it could really fit the vibe. So I really want to bring this. It's also not too thick, so it's like not that heavy. But then I've got this Dear Dolly on love, life and friendship. I read the fiction book by Dolly Alderton called Ghosts, and I actually really enjoyed it. And this just seems like a really light, fun read, and because it's a bundle of like agony aunt columns that she's written, which means that I think it'll be really good, like short stories, easy to read in short bursts. Oh, so I really want to bring both. If I can, I will. I might have to sacrifice like something heavier for this, but whatever. Then I've got some anti-bac wipes. I've got this little pouch which I bought in Japan, and in Japan I used it for like keeping coins and cash, and it really came in handy, and I think I'll be carrying some cash. Obviously I've got my wallet, but like it gets pretty bulky if there's a lot of coins. And I think in general, like just an extra pouch for anything that I might need to store that's kind of small could be useful. And I do have also this inflatable neck pillow. I think that'll be good for on buses and trains. No, not trains. Buses and planes. Lastly, but importantly, I'll be bringing my climbing shoes. I don't want to bring these too close because they stink. Yeah, I'm gonna be doing some bouldering and climbing while I'm there, so I'll bring my own climbing shoes. I think that's nicer than having to borrow them from a company or like a guide. I also want to bring my climbing harness. Although I might reconsider this because most of the guides are like, I think I can get a climbing harness there pretty easily, and the climbing harness is the same everywhere pretty much. It's not an issue of like comfort, whereas the shoes I feel like are more important for my like these are my shoes. That's it. Actually, we're not completely done. I'm planning on bringing these sandals for at camp. Yeah, and in showers and stuff. And then I'm a little bit uncertain, but I might bring my hiking boots, but that's so heavy and big and bulky. I have one more day tomorrow here in Oslo, and I might buy some approach shoes, which is a big expense, but I think that those I could wear in the city and while trekking. So that's a little bit uncertain. So in terms of toiletries, I've got this bag. I mean, this is quite like, I feel like toiletries are quite specific. No, they're not at all. Quite straightforward, like personal hygiene, that's what you need. So that's mainly the liquids then. I'll be adding toothpaste in here, obviously. But I've got micellar water, that's what I use to take off my makeup. I've got facial cleanser to cleanse my face. I've got pseudo creme. This is a cream for baby's rashes. Nappy rash. I use it for my blemishes, for acne. I've got dry shampoo, very handy on the trail, I think, or like, am I revealing that I have very greasy hair? I've got a small toothpaste. I'll bring a normal sized one, but I thought this could be useful on the trek actually. And deodorant. I like the spray deodorant, but this is like a small size, which is good. And then I've got toothbrush. I've got my mascara and concealer. A little bit excessive, but whatever. I've got these are actually very useful. This is Pocket Laundry Wash. They're just these like dissolvable sheets that I can use for some hand washing, like in sinks and things. I've used them on previous trips and they're very useful. I've got some pads and tampons in here. I'm set to get my period Oh, I don't even want to think about this. I'm set to get my period on the trek while I'm out camping. So I'm really hoping, usually when I travel, my cycle gets a little bit like messed up, and it usually is like either, yeah, it's a bit postponed, and I'm just like, I'm praying that that's what happens. Please, like, but I already know that this time it's gonna be exactly like on time. I'm telling you. I've got melatonin. Am I gonna bring this for sleep? But now I'm actually reconsidering. I'm not sure about this one. I don't want to get jet lag. I'm going east. Yeah, it might be useful actually, melatonin. I might bring it. It's not very heavy. I've got a little travel razor. I've got this little foldable hairbrush. It's not the best, but it's so it's not the best, but it's so efficient, like, to pack. I got it as an amenity in one of my hotels in Japan, actually. And I'm so glad I brought it with me because it's, I don't know, like, it's so efficient to pack. So I thought, yeah, this is my hairbrush. I've got some cotton pads for wiping. I've got a few, like, what do you call them, like cough drops, or hopefully I don't need those, but you never know. I've got a little tweezer. I've got this shampoo bar. I've been using this for years as well, and it's super handy for traveling. It's got a bit of a conditioner bar left in it, but this is the main shampoo bar, and it works really well, and it's not a liquid. Then I've got a little bit of a DIY first aid kit. So I've got some like elastic bandage, an assortment of these like wound compress and a lot of plasters, both for blisters and regular wounds. And then I've got a few like hair ties, some hair clips as well. So those are my toiletries. This is my pack that I'm bringing. It's fairly new, but it's 55 liters, I believe. Yeah, 55. I used to travel with a 50-liter pack, so there should be excess space in here. Although I've got some extra bits like my climbing shoes and stuff. But yeah, it's nice because it opens from the top, but also it also has this zipper compartment that makes it open up a bit, like from the front, a bit like a suitcase like that. So that's very useful. And I always actually use packing cubes. They're not compression ones because I actually don't really like them because they get kind of smaller at the sides than in the middle, and I don't like it. Okay, let's pack this and see if it actually fits. it's actually the next day, so I'm leaving tomorrow. I thought I'd give you a little update on the packing situation. Pretty much the same as I showed you guys yesterday, but I'm gonna wear my hiking boots. Obviously, I don't know why I didn't think of that yesterday. They're the heaviest shoe I've got, so I'll wear them actually while traveling. And then I do have my sandals and some like lightweight trainers in there. Yeah. And then the only thing that I'm a little bit uncertain about is whether to take, like, you know, I was talking about this like bag that I've got my day pack backpack for hiking. I'll use that the most, I think. And I was almost tempted to use that as like my personal item, but I think it won't fly, especially because I wonder if my backpack will fly as a carry-on. It usually does, and I hope they don't make a fuss. But I've also got a domestic flight within Argentina, and obviously the rules with domestic flights are usually a bit tighter as well, so that's why I was thinking I should take this one as my personal item, because it's very small and it'll force me to limit myself on what I can bring. However, then there's a few things that I'll have to stuff in here as well, and I'm almost like, yeah, because my other alternative for a personal item is this crossbody bag, which is, I mean, it's really not that different. Guys, I think I'm going a bit crazy. Like, I should have watched maybe some videos on what people pack, and I'm usually pretty good at it, but I think it's just the amount of hiking and climbing and like trekking I'm gonna do. I think that's just messing up my headspace. So actually what I'm going to bring as well, which is silly, from Norway, I think I'll bring some porridge, like instant porridges, because I don't know, I feel like I need breakfast on the trek, but also I'm bringing 4, which is half the amount of days that I'm trekking. What am I going to do the other 4 days? I don't know. I think I'll bring them. And almonds. I mean, this for sure is a good one. This one I'll bring because it's just an emergency snack along my whole trip. And almonds are good for you, so. But I think if I want to bring those things, I'll actually have to go for this one, and it'll be a lot more like comfortable, because as you can see here currently, like this is pretty stuffed. At the same time, it does limit me on what I can bring, which is good. Oh, one thing that I got rid of by the way, is the neck pillow, because I explained to you guys the idea with the silk pillowcase, that I'll kind of stuff that and make that into a pillow. So I don't really need the neck pillow. My flights and buses are all during the day, like they're not overnight. So I can sleep on them, but I don't have to, or like timing wise I don't have to, and I can just use my down jacket or something like that if I really am like in a crunch. So that's kind of my idea. So yeah, I'm really uncertain which personal item I should bring. I think I'm actually gonna repack in this now, because that means that I can comfortably bring like both the books and my notebook. So this was the neck pillow that I'm actually not bringing. Bringing an extra roll of film as well. In Japan, I think I went to Japan for 3 weeks. Obviously there's a lot, like tons to photograph in Japan, but there will be tons to photograph here as well. I think in Japan I brought 2 rolls of film and bought another roll of film while I was there. So I actually shot 3 rolls of film in Japan, which is kind of wild. So I'll have to cut back a little bit here, but I've got 1 brand new roll of film in the analog camera right now, and then I'll bring another one. And I'm hoping that should be enough. Wallet, most important. Passport, AirPods, and then almond snacks on the plane because I might get hungry. And the hair clip. And these actually, I'm gonna find a spot for them in my bag. This is ridiculous. I'm curious to see how I feel about my packing when I'm back. Let's see. If you're watching this video for advice on what to pack, I'm sorry, and I hope it's useful.